So hi world, welcome to my channel and welcome to Agatha All Along, episodes 8 and 9, review, commentary, and theories, and rating, and thoughts, and like a lot of things. I was just before I pressed play, I just was thinking of a new way to do the reviews. So that they are not as long, but not because I don't want them to be long, but I want them to be more precise. And if the video is still long, then it is what it is. I'm going to talk about everything I want to talk about. So I don't care much for the length of the video. It's more so that it's like more organized. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to do chapters. So, I mean, this is the last review for Agatha All Along. So I am starting this new way of doing the reviews with the last Agatha review. But it's like a door closes, another one opens, and it's like they said in the episode. So I'm starting this in the last episode, but obviously I do reviews for other shows. So yeah, I feel like it's a good way to start something new with the end of something else. You know what I mean? So what I'll be doing is we're gonna start the review with more of like key moments, because I usually do the order of the things that happen in the episode, right? So we start the episode here and then we follow the events until the end. But a lot of the times I do skip to certain points of the episode because some things reference another things, and so I jump back and forth. And so I was thinking, and that's a little bit confusing, and so the way I'm going to do it is more like talking about key moments, what was important in the episode, because a lot of the times they have lots of scenes that are not as important. You know what I mean? And instead of following the events of the episode, I'll just talk about those key moments instead of, having to follow every little thing. And then I can jump back and forth more easily, without losing myself in the events that are happening. Is more like just the commentary. And then I'll do a rating of the episode or episodes. In this case, it's going to be 2. So I'll do the rating for both. And then we have the what's next, and that's usually where we do like more of the theories of, what's going to happen in the next episode. In this case, because this show ended, it's going to be more like what's going to happen in other projects. Where is this story going to go? You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I guess let's start. I still have the notes as like the old way, if you will. Like I still pointed out some of the things that happen in the episodes, kind of like in order, but we'll try to figure it out, like the key moments. Obviously in episode 8, we're going to start with episode 8. I will also do the chapters in the description so that you can know which thing I'm talking about. So I'm going to put the chapter episode 8. I'm going to start episode 8. This is going to start here. And then episode 9, and then the rating, and then what's next. So that it also helps the viewer, navigate to the video better. So yeah, we're growing, we're changing, so we're finding new ways to do things. It's completely fine. So yeah. But then yeah, episode 8, we see the first scene, Rio taking Alice. Which, it's one of those things like you wish you had more time. Even Rio said like, oh, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that, right? But in Alice's case, I feel like that's the whole thing, right? Because she defeated the curse, and she dies the episode after, and it's like, now she could actually do something with her life. When other people probably said it is because they didn't enjoy life, or they didn't do everything they want to do, but they probably could have, but they just didn't. And so then they die and they're like, oh, I want more time. But in Alice's case, she couldn't do it because of the curse. You know what I mean? So in her case, I feel like it made more sense for her to say that. But then yeah, Rio probably heard that like a lot of times. So it's one of those things. Um, should have probably warmed up my voice. Also, I'm super white. I'm even more whiter than the fucking wall. Like, look, the wall kind of look orange. The light is fucking reflecting, so that's why I put this so it has more color. Charm. And then yeah, we figured out that Rio was after Billy because he possessed a dead body. Possessing a dead body is forbidden. We heard that in Multiverse of Madness. So yeah, to have death itself coming after you, ooh, that's gotta be scary, okay? But it's like they said, death comes for us all. So you know, it is fucked up the way WandaVision ended and that they were actually dead. You know what I mean? Because especially after Strange said, "Oh, Wanda, your children aren't real," and it's like, yes, they are. Stupid. Yes, they are. Strange, motherfucker. So yeah, he has to surrender himself because she can't actually take him, which I did like that because Agatha said that if she kills Billy, he's gonna reincarnate again. And I'm like, it's probably the magic. It's like magic on autopilot. The magic is just gonna automatically find him a body, and protect him and give him another life, basically. And because Tommy doesn't have that, he doesn't have the magic. He can't do that, and so that's why, they had to find him a body. And that's what Agatha did, help them find a body. So yeah. But we'll leave that to what's next, right? And so then they said the road is a circle. Like it just keeps going. But obviously we found out that the road isn't real. So then that leaves me with more questions. Because in a way that was kind of cool, and that was kind of like a parallel to Wanda creating WandaVision and now Billy creating the Witch's Road. It leaves a lot of questions because obviously the Witch's Road exists in the comics, and it wasn't Billy that created it. It's actually its own dimension. So like, what does this mean? You know what I mean? But yeah. So then that makes sense because when he put his shoe on, like because he created the road, when he put the shoe on, they had the next trial. And so it was like, yeah, they had the next trial because he created the road, so they weren't finished there. You know what I mean? And I feel like I said this in the other review. Even though Jen had her trial, she wasn't completely, like, her story wasn't completely resolved. You know what I mean? Because she was still bound. So she needed to figure that out. So that's why I'm like, oh yeah, she's still alive because her story is not resolved. But then I guess it got resolved. And I mean, I guess we should have figured it out, right? Because I was shocked to know that Agatha was the one that bounded her. But I mean, the show is called Agatha All Along, so I feel like I feel like that was an easy thing to figure it out. But I never heard anyone talk about this or have that theory. And then when they revealed, I'm like, Agatha, you bitch. But then again, she didn't know. But still, she said that she performed the spell, so she would have known that the spell was gonna bound a witch. But then again, she was killing other witches that whole time. So I don't think she would have cared much if she's gonna bound a witch. You know what I mean? Now she cares because she knows Jen. She loves the coven. But back then she wouldn't know. But yeah. Then she unbound, gets her magic back, gets off the road because she got what she wanted. So that's cool. And then obviously Agatha helps Billy find Tommy a body. Which I guess we will see. But that was such a good scene though. Such a good scene. Oh. But then he said, "Oh, Agatha, am I killing a body to let Tommy live?" And it's like, Agatha told you to find a dead body. You know what I mean? She said there's like 120 bodies every day or like every minute out there. So you just need to find one. So then he finds the body of the boy drowning. And then he's like, oh, am I killing him? No, he was going to die anyway. Hello. Billy, hello. Is anybody in there? Like, girl. But then, yeah, that works. He disappears off the road too. And then she's left alone. And then she had the plan. She had the seed, I guess, of the dandelion, which was probably in Nicola's hair. I feel like the seed was in the hair. When she put the hair in the lock, the seed went along with it. And that's so cool. But then I don't know what the flower was supposed to do, because then everything just crumbled and then she got off the road. So I don't know what that means, because she didn't get her magic back. She was the only one that didn't get her prize. So yeah, but I mean, I guess because Billy was out of the road, he wasn't there anymore, so it would be kind of destroyed. I don't know. But then in episode 9, the door was still there. So yeah, but isn't that like a plot hole? Because in episode 2, when they went down the road, there was the door. The Salem 7 were coming to the basement, to the Witch's Road door. Agatha closes the door, and then the door transforms into like soil. So the door disappears, so they can't get out. And it's like soil, like dirt. But then he went back to the basement, and the door was still there. So how does that work if the door disappeared? How is it still there? Was it there all along and it just disappeared for them so they couldn't get out? Or no? Because if the door was always there, then the Salem 7 could have gotten in. You know what I mean? But they didn't. They got in because of the spell that they did to bring the Green Witch. That's the door they left open, not the actual door. So I don't know what that means. Maybe that's like a plot hole or whatever. But yeah, what we got next? Oh yeah, then she gets off the road. Then we got the fight scene, which it felt a little anticlimactic, dare I say. Like when Agatha was without magic, obviously Rio was just, torturing her. Like Death by a Thousand Cuts, Taylor Swift. Like I love that reference. And then she was like slashing her with the vines, and then she kind of put her against like the pole thing or whatever. And then Billy appears with his full costume, which was so beautiful. And I just saw on Twitter that the inside of the cape of Billy's is Vision's pattern, or Vision's cape pattern, I think. And then the outside of the cape is Wanda's Multiverse of Madness pattern that she had, so that he had his parents with him. Which, in a way, I like that. But then again, he's not looking for Wanda or Vision. So I feel like for him to create a suit with like Wanda texture, obviously that's a real life thing. Like the designer wanted to make those pattern choices, so he did. But then what does that mean in the show? Because Billy created the suit with his magic. So is that like something unconsciously that he did? Like he wasn't fully aware of the costume. It just like kind of happened. Could that be something? I mean, obviously he wouldn't make a full drawing of a costume that he wants. So maybe it was subconscious. But yeah. And then he gives her the magic, but I still don't know how that works. He gave her the magic, but she had already taken Alice's magic. So I still don't understand why Agatha didn't have magic. Because she got Alice's magic. Hello. But then she tried to use magic. She still didn't have it. But then what happened to Alice's magic? She took Alice's magic. She killed her. But then she still didn't have magic. But then she takes Billy's magic, and she didn't kill him. But then she could use the magic. I'm so confused. Like, why does one work and one doesn't? Like, what? And then what does that mean for Billy? Because doesn't he get like weaker? If she took the magic, he has less magic. But then he was just fine and he used his magic anyway. So he just regenerates more magic. Like, how does that work? I'm so confused. Or does he lose that specific amount of magic forever? I don't get it. I don't know. But I mean, I guess those are more like technicalities, right? Um Wait, what did I wrote? Billy puts what the fuck did I wrote here? Oh, Hood. Okay, because it had the parallel with Wanda, but we'll get there. And then we have the order of the episodes, which I did think it was weird, and they did the opposite of WandaVision, where they did like the big finale in episode 8, and then episode 9 was the flashback. But in WandaVision, the flashback was episode 8, and episode 9 was the big finale. So they kind of did the opposite of WandaVision, and yeah, in a way that it worked, it didn't. But I'll leave that to the rating of the episode. But yeah, and that didn't work because he said take me to try and save Agatha, right? And then Agatha was like, okay, take him. He said take me, and then Agatha was like, take him. And and then I don't understand why Billy got upset, because he said to Rio, take me, I volunteer, like take me. And then Agatha says, oh yeah, you heard him, take him. And then he was like upset. But you just said to Rio to take you, so why are you upset? Like, you literally just said for her to take you. And then Agatha's like, oh, you heard him. And then he's upset at Agatha. I don't get it. But then he got into her mind and he said, is this how Nicholas died? And then that's why I didn't like that the flashback was the last episode. Because imagine if we had the flashback in episode 8, and then that scene we got in episode 9, and he was like, is this how Nicholas died? And then we would have known that it was. Because when he said that, I'm like, is it? We haven't seen it yet, so how are we supposed to know how he died? We haven't seen the flashback yet. So he's saying that, he's referenced that, but then we haven't seen it because that's episode 8. And that scene only comes up in episode 9. So how does that make sense? Like, I get that they switched the big fight scene and the big climax finale to episode 8, but at the same time I feel like they just could have went with the predictable finale and just leave it to episode 9. Because imagine WandaVision, we have that big finale in episode 8, and then we only have the flashbacks in episode 9. You know, that kind of doesn't make sense. It definitely worked better, obviously, in Agatha switching the order, but they also adapted to that switch, so that it would make sense to put the flashback in episode 9. But I still would prefer to be the other way around. But whatever. And then yeah, you know, Agatha kisses Rio and she takes her power. Which, again, see what I mean? She took her power by kissing her. But the whole point of the show was that she needed the witches to blast her. But Rio didn't blast her. Oh, no, I mean, I guess she kind of did. She did when they were fighting. She did when they were fighting, yes. Because she kind of blasted her and Agatha did this. She kind of did blast her. But either way, you could see like the dark veins. So she kind of took her power with the kiss. And not like with the hands. I don't know. Maybe it was different. But the way she kind of started floating up. And then she came down. And then she was dead. And I'm like, did they really just kill Agatha? Literally, I was supposed to film this yesterday. But I didn't. Because I was just sad the whole day. It literally just made me so sad. Because it was just like reliving like everything that happened with Wanda. And Wanda dying. And to this day, 3 years later or 2 years later, whatever, we still don't know where Wanda is. And now Agatha is dead on her own show. And it's like, fuck me. Like, I was literally so sad yesterday, the whole day. I was like, I should do the review, but I kind of don't want to. Like, it's just fucked up. It is. And even though she came back as a ghost and they try to make it funny, it was still Agatha and she was like making her jokes. Literally, the last episode, I didn't smile once. I was just in silence, like in shock, watching the whole thing. And then it was more even it was even more trauma. But yeah, they left the cliffhanger for episode 8 to be it was Billy that created the road, so kind of giving that parallel to Wanda creating WandaVision, because she figured out that in episode 8, and now he figures out that he created the Witch's Road in episode 8. You know what I mean? But then again, it feels out of order. But I'll talk about episode 9, and then I'll talk about more of the order. I'll go more in depth of the order in the rating. But yeah, I was in shock the whole episode 9, because not only Agatha just died and I didn't even know what else to do. And then Billy gets off like Westview and he puts the hood on exactly like Wanda did in episode 9. Like, I just started crying because I was like, that's literally like Wanda. It was just a lot. That whole thing was just a lot. And then even more trauma and more emotion in episode 9, because all of the story with Nikki, and they created the Witch's Road song, her and Nikki. That is crazy. And the song was a hoax the whole time. That's why it didn't work. And that's why Agatha was like kind of shocked that the door appeared. But it was Billy. That's crazy. That's like amazing writing. But that's crazy. See, even now I'm lost for words, because it was just so, it was beautiful the time they had together. Like, the whole episode was just so beautiful, but it's just so sad. And then to see Agatha as the ghost, like I said, she was like making jokes, and now she's kind of like a mentor to Billy. I just couldn't get over the fact that she's dead still. You know what I mean? Like, she's actually dead. Sure, she's a ghost and she's still there. She still talks and she's being a mentor and she's still funny. She's still Agatha. But she's dead. She's actually dead. And I really wasn't expecting that, especially because we got nothing of Wanda. Nothing. Not even an after credit scene. Literally, this got to be the first show that doesn't have an after credit scene. And now we lost Agatha, and it's like, because I see it as a loss. Even though she's still there as the ghost, I see it as a loss. I just can't get over that fact. I don't know. What else did I put? Yeah, the ballad was a trick. So she was also never in the Witch's Road. Technically, the Witch's Road was her and Nikki, because they were walking the road. As they were traveling and killing witches, they were traveling the road. So that's the road. And the song was Coven 2, because it's Agatha and Nikki. See what I mean? It's just a lot. It's just a lot. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess she was trying to figure it out how to be a ghost. And she picked up the thing. So, yeah, she's a quick study. So now she can, I mean, I guess she could be a mentor to Billy. And maybe whatever happens next, I guess what we'll see. Which, is a good segue to talk about what's gonna happen next. But I'm gonna do the I don't know. I'm so confused. I feel like I should do the key moments and then what happens next, and then I'll leave the rating to the end, right? Because I was gonna do the rating after I talk about the episode and then what's next, so that we end the video with like the theories. But I don't know. I feel like it's a better segue to talk about what's gonna happen next after I talked about the episodes. So I talk about the episodes, what's gonna happen next, and then the rating. Right? I feel like that's better. So, let's talk about what's going to happen next. Jennifer is out there. I loved her magic is like pink. It was so pretty. I still think that her earrings were like the Scarlet Witch crown. So I do still think she's like related. She has something to do with Wanda or maybe Mephisto or something like that. You know what I mean? And because she's still alive, she got her magic. Like, okay, like Alice defeated the curse, but she died, right? Lilia finally understood her power, but then she died. Jen got her powers back, but she's still alive. So what's going to happen next? You know what I mean? Like, obviously she has to come and play like in a future project. And I hope she does. The same with Agatha and Billy, like, and I guess they did the Agatha comic accurate because Agatha is like, she's older in the comics. She has the white hair, so I feel like they put her as a ghost, but I feel like she wouldn't have the white hair. So that's weird because when she died, she still had the brown hair, so. She transitions like into a ghost and then her hair color changes. I thought that was weird. They were trying to do the comic accurate look, but it was weird because her color, the hair wouldn't change color, would it? I don't know. Like you become a ghost and you have white hair. Like what? But yeah, they're going to find Tommy. So I feel like we kind of know that the next show is going to be Vision Quest, I guess. I don't know how that's going to work. Because then both Billy and Agatha have to be in that show, right? So I don't know how they're going to adapt. And then it's White Vision because now he has all the memories, but he doesn't have the Infinity Stone. So I don't know how that's going to work because he doesn't have feelings, right? Because what allowed him to feel and especially be connected to Wanda was the Mind Stone. So he doesn't have that. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. And then I guess they'll try and find Tommy in that show. And, Rio she's deaf. So I guess she will probably appear now that they introduce her. She will probably appear in more projects, so I feel like we just gotta wait. And then we also have the Young Avengers, which they kind of set up with the Marvels. Like Kamala went to recruit Kate, and she talked about Ant-Man's daughter. So maybe they're gonna find out about Billy or something. I don't know. But yeah, I guess now let's go into the rating. I didn't do the rating for the other episodes. Like I said, this is like the new style of review that I'm doing, but I'll just do to these two. I feel like I would have preferred. I know that's like every show, like you leave the big fight scene, the big climax to the last episode. And I feel like that's what always happens, and that's what happened with WandaVision. I was gonna say Westview. But I think I would still prefer that same thing to happen here. I would have preferred the fight scene in Agatha dying in the last episode, and then she becomes a ghost, and then we have that scene of her and Billy going to find Tommy. Like that would still like be the same, but it would have been in episode 9, not episode 8. I feel like episode 8 should have still been the flashback, because then Billy going into Agatha's mind and saying, is this how Nicholas died? Is it how Nikki died? And then we would have known if episode 8 was the flashback. But because the flashback was only in episode 9, we didn't know. We still didn't know how Nikki died. So for him to reference that, and we as the audience still don't know what happened, I would have preferred that the flashback would have been in episode 8. And then it could have still ended with the cliffhanger of him finding out that he created the Witch's Road. You know what I mean? Like, he gets off the road, he goes into his room, and he figures out that he created the Witch's Road. Right? And then he comes back to Westview. Agatha gets out of the Witch's Road, and then they have the fight scene. I feel like that would have worked a lot better than living the flashback to the last episode. I get what they were trying to do, and it kind of worked in a way. But at the same time, I think I still would have preferred that way. Like, everything that happened would have still happened, like, exactly the same. It's just more like the order of how they showed the scenes. I would have preferred the flashback in episode 8. Even if it's like that cliche of, you know, having the exposition in episode 8, in the episode before the finale, and then we have the big climax in the finale. Even though that's like a cliche, I would still prefer that. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's the only thing I can say. The rating, I feel like I want to do like I feel like I could do like IMDb, you know, like we have 10 stars. So out of the 10, how many do I give to an episode? You know what I mean? Like, how many stars am I going to give to an episode from 0 to 10? And I feel like I would give episode 8 a 9. And I won't give a 10 because, like I said, I would have preferred that episode 8 was episode 9. Even though that's the cliche of leaving the climax to the finale, I would have still preferred that. So I'll give it a 9. 9 stars out of 10. But yeah, it's a 10, but I'll give it 9 just because of that. And then episode 9. I feel like I'll give 8 stars to episode 9. Again, I'll take 1 star because of the order. And then I'll take another star, and hence the 8 stars, because I don't know if I particularly like the way they did the flashback. Like, everything with Nikki, that's I like that. And then they created the Witch's Road, and then even the scene with her killing like a bunch of witches and the Witch's Road being fake, and she was just tricking the witches into singing the song so that she could kill them. I feel like I would have preferred a little more with Agatha and Rio. Like, how did they actually meet? We never saw it. How did Agatha get the Darkhold? We never saw it. But we had that whole scene of just the camera going around and playing the Witch's Road song and her killing the witches. And it's like, I feel like, sure, we could have had that scene, and it was a beautiful scene. I like that. And with all of the outfits, I always love when they do like the costumes. But I feel like it would have been more interesting if the flashback started with Rio and Agatha meeting. But it could have been just like the first meet. Like, what happened for them to meet? You know what I mean? What happened? And then, like, that would have been enough. And then we fast forward to the birth scene in the forest. Like, I don't even care how Agatha got pregnant. But just Rio and Agatha meet. And then we go into the birth scene and her asking for more time. And then all that happened with Nikki. And then after Nikki died, they should have done a scene where Agatha gets the Darkhold. You know what I mean? Like, instead of doing her killing the witches, they should have done Agatha getting the Darkhold. That's what they should have done. And then even they could have showed her killing the witches and then getting the Darkhold. And then we get into the present time. And then we have the scene where Billy says, "Is this how Nikki died?" And then because we would have seen the flashback in episode 8, now we know that it was like that Nikki died. And yeah, I feel like that just would have worked better. So yeah, 9 stars to episode 8 and 8 stars to episode 9. Okay, that's funny. That's like the opposite. And so yeah, hopefully y'all like this new style of review. This video is still gonna be long, like I said in the beginning, especially because it was 2 episodes and it was the finale of Agatha All Along, which is an incredible series. And I feel like I could do like a ranking or a rating for the whole season. But I'll definitely give it a solid like 9.9 stars, like 9.9. I'll just take that 1% because of the order of the episodes again, but I'll give it the whole show, the whole season in itself, 9.9. It the best. WandaVision and Agatha are the 2 best shows. The 2 best shows that Marvel has. And so yeah, like I was saying, hopefully y'all like this new style. And then because I do the rating and I do the stars, and I'm gonna start doing that with the other shows that I do. I want y'all to tell me what is your rating for these 2 specific episodes, and then what do you think of the show overall and the season. So I can do my rating and then y'all can give yours in the comments. And so that's also a cool thing. But yeah, definitely let me know everything in the comments. Let me know if you like this new style. Obviously, I'm going to perfect it as I go. So hopefully y'all like it. And yeah, let me know everything down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.